Ever wondered what lies beyond the unexplored corners of the universe? Imagine uncovering a grand conspiracy that could change the fabric of intergalactic politics. In this gripping tale of betrayal, courage, and unlikely alliances, you'll experience edge-of-your-seat suspense, vivid alien worlds, and the ultimate triumph of justice. Would you expose a buried truth to challenge a powerful corporation? If you want to dive into real stories of parallel realities every day, in enigmatic, technological worlds that are completely different from our planet, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Well, let's go. On the desolate, windswept plains of Rax 3, a barren planet known for its toxic atmosphere and inhospitable terrain, an alien spaceship screamed through the poisoned air. The vessel, beleaguered and riddled with damage, spiraled out of control, plummeting toward the gnarled landscape below. With a cataclysmic impact, it crashed, a fiery streak across the bleak sky, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The pilot of the crippled craft was Lara, a resilient and determined alien hailing from the distant realm of Xylar. With her translucent skin, luminescent eyes that flickered like fireflies, and slender frame, Lara was an ethereal being bred for exploration and diplomacy. Despite her fragile appearance, she possessed an unyielding spirit and a razor-sharp intellect, attributes that had earned her a coveted role as an ambassador and scientist for her homeworld. As Lara struggled to regain consciousness, every breath was agony, a sharp reminder of the grievous injuries she had sustained in the crash. The wreckage of her ship lay scattered around her, twisted metal and shattered tech strewn about the treacherous landscape. She fought through the haze of pain, her primary concern veering towards the critical mission she was on. Summoning the last vestiges of her strength, she activated the ship's distress beacon, a desperate cry for help sent into the void of space, hoping against hope that someone would hear it. Meanwhile, hundreds of light years away, Carter, a seasoned human explorer known for his rugged determination and insatiable curiosity, roamed the uncharted expanses of the cosmos. Carter, with his weathered face, piercing blue eyes that spoke of countless adventures, and a physique honed by the rigors of space travel, embodied the archetype of the intrepid spacefarer. His ship, the Elysium Asterisk, was a marvel of human engineering, equipped with the latest technology that allowed for deep space exploration. Carter was on one such exploration when he intercepted Lara's distress signal. The cryptic nature of the SOS, coupled with its location, Rax 3, a planet notorious for its hazardous environment, piqued his interest and stirred his innate sense of duty. He altered his course toward Rax 3, the thrill of discovery and the urgency of rescue quickening his pulse. As he approached the planet, Carter was unaware of the sinister machinations at play, the dark forces that had orchestrated Lara's downfall. His thoughts were solely focused on the impending rescue, his mind racing with possibilities and concerns. The descent onto Rax 3 was turbulent, the atmosphere buffeting his ship mercilessly as he maneuvered toward the desolate surface. Upon landing, he quickly suited up and stepped out into the hostile environment. The air was thick with toxins, the ground unstable and riddled with dangers, geological hazards and predatory creatures that lurked in the shadows. Carter pressed on, guided by the signal from Lara's beacon, his resolve unwavering. He found her amidst the wreckage, barely conscious and grievously injured. The sight of her frail form, illuminated by the ghostly glow of her eyes, stirred a protective instinct within him. With precise, practiced movements, Carter stabilized her condition, utilizing advanced medical technology to tend to her wounds as best as he could under the circumstances. He carefully transported her to his ship, each step a battle against the unyielding environment. Once on board the Elysium Asterisk, Lara's condition improved marginally, enough for her to share fragmented details of her mission. She spoke of critical evidence she had gathered, anomalies, data, and encryptions that she needed to present to the Galactico Cancello, a powerful interstellar council tasked with maintaining peace and justice across the galaxy. Her voice was weak, but the urgency and desperation in her words were unmistakable. Intrigued and alarmed, Carter conducted a more thorough investigation of Lara's wreckage. What he discovered was chilling. Clear evidence of explosive devices, indicating that the crash was no accident. The realization that Lara had been sabotaged electrified his sense of purpose. This was no mere rescue mission. It was a quest for the truth, a journey into the heart of a conspiracy that threatened the fabric of intergalactic politics. The bond between Carter and Lara grew as they shared their fears, hopes, and commitment to justice. Guided by mutual respect and a burgeoning sense of trust, they pieced together the clues that pointed toward a sinister corporation known as Helix Corp. This powerful conglomerate, notorious for its unethical practices and unchecked influence, emerged as the likely perpetrator behind Lara's sabotage. Carter's resolve hardened. The evidence they had was damning, implicating Helix Corp in an elaborate scheme of deception and control. They faced monumental odds, but neither was deterred. The stakes were immense, the risks unprecedented. Yet, their mission was clear: to expose the truth and hold the guilty accountable. As preparations to confront Helix Corp began, they utilized every resource at their disposal. Carter activated his ship's sophisticated intelligence systems, collating and analyzing data, while Lara, despite her weakened state, scoured through the encrypted files salvaged from her wreckage. Each revelation fed their determination, bolstering their resolve for the arduous journey ahead. The pressures of their newfound alliance soon gave way to a grudging camaraderie. Through shared trials and tribulations, their relationship evolved from mutual necessity to a partnership rooted in solidarity and trust. They navigated the complexities of their predicament, their unique strengths complementing one another. Lara's intellect and analytical prowess were matched by Carter's tactical expertise and unyielding courage. Their journey was fraught with dangers and dilemmas, with moments that tested their convictions and forced them to confront their deepest fears. Ethical questions loomed large over their quest. Could they justify the potential fallout of exposing such a powerful entity? Was it their place to disrupt the status quo of intergalactic politics? The weight of their mission bore heavily upon them, yet they pressed on, guided by a shared belief in the importance of justice and truth. As the chapter concluded, a sense of foreboding lingered. The path ahead was shrouded in uncertainty, fraught with risks and challenges that would push Carter and Lara to their limits. Their resolve, however, remained unshaken. Together, they would navigate the treacherous landscape of deception and treachery, determined to unveil the truth and challenge the powerful forces that sought to bury it. Stay tuned to discover how this magnificent and epic story will unfold. The dim light of Rax 3's twin moons cast eerie, elongated shadows across the desolate landscape as Carter's spacecraft descended. The atmosphere was suffocating, heavy with noxious fumes and unyielding winds that threatened to batter the ship off course. With deft hands and a keen eye, Carter maneuvered his craft through the planet's turbulent weather, finally setting it down on a precarious rock formation near the wreckage. The terrain was a foreboding mix of jagged rocks and bubbling lava pits, a testament to the planet's violent geology. Carter braced himself against the whipping winds as he lowered the boarding ramp and stepped into the hostile environment. His environmental suit's sensors beeped incessantly, warning him of the hazardous air and unstable ground. Each step was a calculated effort as he moved toward the twisted remnants of Lara's vessel. The ship, a sleek, silver craft now marred by blackened burns and jagged tears, lay partially submerged in a crater. Without wasting a moment, Carter activated his suit's structural scanning mode, mapping the wreckage for signs of life. The scanner beeped an affirmative signal, and Carter hurried forward, clambering over fragmented metal and dodging spurts of steam from the fissured ground. Inside the shattered cockpit, he found Lara, slumped and barely conscious, her alien physiology struggling against the wounds that marred her otherwise majestic form. Lara's appearance was striking, with an otherworldly aura emanating from her iridescent skin, which now bore dark patches of drying blood. She had bioluminescent markings that pulsed weakly, indicating her critical state. Her eyes, once vibrant pools of emerald, were now dim and unfocused. Without delay, Carter assessed her injuries with his medical scanner. Fractured limbs, internal bleeding, and a punctured lung, she was in dire need of immediate medical attention. Carter's training kicked in, and he swiftly administered emergency injections of regenerating nanites and secured her to a gravity stretcher. As he carefully navigated their way back to his ship, he cast wary glances at the surrounding landscape. The planet's native predators were nocturnal, and the bewitching nightfall was already rousing them. Carter had heard tales of the Raxian Vulcars, ferocious, multi-limbed creatures with razor-sharp talons, who would quickly sniff out any disturbance. He quickened his pace. Upon reaching his spacecraft, Carter activated the secure hatch and hurriedly moved Lara inside. The onboard medbay hummed to life as he laid her on a diagnostic bed. As the ship's AI began stabilizing her conditions, Carter couldn't shake off the gnawing feeling of unease. The crash site had exhibited signs that pointed to sabotage, strange scorch marks and traces of an explosive compound not native to Rax 3. Someone had intentionally brought Lara down, and now it was up to him to uncover why. Hours later, as Lara's condition stabilized, Carter's ship broke through the planet's atmosphere and set a course for his research station, a modest yet highly equipped outpost on a distant moon of Grinex 4. With Lara resting in the medbay, Carter meticulously reviewed the data retrieved from her ship's black box. The evidence was damning. An unknown vessel had intercepted Lara's ship and deployed a precision-guided missile to disable it. Carter felt a surge of anger and indignation. Lara's mission had been of immense importance, and now it was clear that powerful entities wanted to ensure it never succeeded. Carter's thoughts were disrupted as Lara stirred, her bioluminescent markings now glowing faintly. She opened her eyes, and for the first time, they locked onto Carter with a semblance of recognition. As Lara struggled to speak, Carter recounted everything he had uncovered. Each revelation brought a flicker of determination to her eyes. With great effort, Lara revealed fragments of her mission, a critical diplomatic endeavor meant to expose Helix Corp's unlawful experimentation and the exploitation of lesser-known worlds. The Council was unaware, and a grand conspiracy was woven deeply within the intergalactic political tapestry. Back at Carter's station, the duo wasted no time. Using Carter's sophisticated equipment, they delved into the recovered data, unearthing encrypted messages and hidden files that pointed directly to Helix Corp's clandestine operations. Each discovery painted a more sinister picture of the corporation's greed and moral bankruptcy. Lara recounted her findings, each revelation laced with anguish and a renewed resolve to bring justice against those who wronged her and potentially countless others. As they worked side by side, Carter couldn't help but be struck by Lara's resilience. Despite her injuries, she radiated a fierce inner strength. Her knowledge of advanced Xylarian technology proved invaluable. Together, they devised a plan to confront Helix Corp and bring their secrets to light. However, they were racing against time. Helix Corp was not an entity to be underestimated. It had its tentacles spread across various systems, with eyes everywhere. As Carter contacted former allies and trustworthy informants, he found their fears palpable. Whispers of disappearances and unexplained deaths followed those who dared oppose the corporation. Even so, Carter's reputation as a stalwart explorer and advocate of justice rallied a small group of allies to their cause. As the days passed, the bond between Carter and Lara grew, forged by shared danger and common purpose. Their conversations spanned topics from the peculiarities of their respective cultures to the ethical quagmires of intergalactic politics. Lara's once distant and enigmatic demeanor softened, revealing glimpses of her compassionate and steadfast nature. Carter, in turn, shared his tales of past exploits, each one underscoring his commitment to the truth. The bleak station became a hive of frenetic activity. Lara's recuperation continued as Carter enhanced their ship's defenses and plotted their assault on Helix Corp. The plan, fraught with peril, was their only hope of revealing the truth. Every piece of tech was calibrated, every contingency considered. The night before their departure, Carter and Lara stood on the station's observation deck, the vast expanse of stars stretched before them. An unspoken understanding passed between them. Each had found in the other a partner willing to shoulder the shared burden of their daunting quest. Yet, beneath the surface, both grappled with the ethical ramifications of their actions. Were they ready to wage a war that could ripple across the galaxy, affecting uncountable lives? Dawn on GRINEX-4 signaled the commencement of their mission. Carter's modified ship, now an unassuming freighter to avoid suspicion, cloaked itself and slipped into the depths of space. Navigating the labyrinth of Helix Corp's fortified headquarters on NUVENAR-7 would be their greatest challenge yet. As they neared their target, Carter's heart pounded with anticipation, each second bringing them closer to the looming confrontation. Upon reaching the perimeter of Helix's stronghold, they executed a flawless entry. With the gravitas of their mission palpable in the air, Carter and Lara rallied their new allies from the station, forming an eclectic yet dedicated team. Each member, though diverse in origin and skills, shared the vision of uncovering the nefarious deeds of Helix Corp. They moved with a quiet, tense determination, their actions underlined by the gravity of the revelations they bore. The universe had seldom seen such a determined assortment of beings ready to confront a malign corporation with the potential to destabilize intergalactic integrity. The fortified headquarters of Helix Corp loomed in the distance, a monolith of steel and secrecy on the otherwise unassuming planet of Vortis V. The team approached under the cover of night, the planet's twin moons casting their ghostly light over the landscape. The headquarters was protected by cutting-edge security mechanisms, biometric scanners, motion sensor turrets, and an interlinked network of surveillance drones. Every corner of the facility was a fortress designed to deter even the most daring of interlopers. Carter and his team were no ordinary interlopers. Using a combination of stealth field emitters and hacking tools provided by their tech expert, a wiry Martian named Axel, they slipped past the outer defenses. Axel's fingers danced across his portable console, overriding the initial layer of security protocols with an ease that belied the complex technology at play. His intense focus was mirrored by the concentration etched on the faces of his companions. Once inside, the labyrinthine structure further challenged their resolve. Helix Corp's headquarters was a sterile warren of narrow corridors and sleek, impersonal rooms. The walls, adorned with minimalist displays of the corporation's supposed accomplishments, oozed a veneer of corporate propriety that hid the rot beneath. In the midst of this, the team looked like ghosts, specters haunting the cold hallways. In the heart of the building, they sought the mainframe, an enormous databank housing Helix's most classified information. Reaching it wasn't just a matter of skill, it was a race against time. With Axel's guidance, they bypassed security checkpoints and evaded patrolling drones. The tension was unrelenting, a constant pressure that squeezed every ounce of mental and physical strength from them. As they neared the central chamber, their path was blocked by an unexpected obstacle, a state-of-the-art armored door, impervious to traditional hacking attempts. It was then that the team's Fornaxian engineer, Morid, stepped up. His species, known for their unparalleled mechanical ingenuity, had seen and dismantled barriers far more formidable. His multi-limbed appendages worked in concert, dismantling the door's protective layers with precision and care until, with a final click, it slid open. Beyond the door, the mainframe stood like a digital oracle, glowing with streams of data. The team worked swiftly, Lara and Carter keeping watch as Axel began the decryption process. The atmosphere in the room was thick with tension, every beep and flicker of the screens pulling their nerves taut. As the mainframe revealed its secrets, the enormity of Helix Corp's machinations came to light. Forged documents, manipulated markets, and even assassination plots, all meticulously documented and stored. But there, hidden amongst the corruption and greed, lay the irrefutable evidence of the sabotage of Lara's ship, designed to prolong a war for Helix's profit. No sooner had they secured the data than alarms shrieked through the corridors. Their intrusion had not gone unnoticed. Swiftly, they copied the files onto data crystals and prepared for a fraught exfiltration. Security forces, alerted to their presence, descended upon their location with merciless efficiency. In the ensuing chaos, Carter and Lara's bond was tested like never before. The team moved through Helix's polished corridors with desperate urgency, exchanging fire with the company's heavily armed security personnel. Pulsing beams of energy crisscrossed the hallways, illuminating their frantic dash with brief flares of light. Each member of the team executed their role with impeccable precision, their synergy born of mutual respect and purpose. As they approached the exit, the pressure mounted. With each passing second, the weight of their peril and the preciousness of the data they carried intensified. They managed to reach their extraction point, but the journey cost them dearly. Axel was critically injured, his lifeblood staining Lara's hands as she performed emergency first aid. Morid had sustained a wound that would scar him for life, yet the resolve in his eyes burned as fiercely as ever. Back on Carter's ship, they treated their wounds and assessed their readiness to deliver the damning evidence to the Galactico Cancello. The data crystals represented more than just proof. They were a symbol of hope for those oppressed by Helix's machinations. Despite their triumph in securing the evidence, an unforeseen twist loomed. As they left Helix airspace, Carter detected unfamiliar vessels edging toward their position. A fleet composed of design patterns unseen in known spacefaring civilizations. Their origins were a mystery, their intentions unreadable. Prepare for evasive maneuvers, Carter barked, his hands flying over the ship's control console. The stress of the chase and the firefight seeped into his bones but did not dull his instincts. Lara positioned herself at the tactical console, ready to respond to whatever threat the foreign vessels posed. As the unknown ships drew closer, their intentions became clear. They were not welcoming committee. Without warning, bolts of searing plasma speared through the void, impacting the ship's shield. Sparks flew, and the protective energy field flickered under the strain. Lara's hands raced across the tactical console, deploying countermeasures to obscure their presence from prying sensors. The fight that followed tested every ounce of Carter and Lara's skill and determination. Piloting the ship with unparalleled dexterity, Carter executed evasive maneuvers that left their pursuers in their wake. But these were no ordinary hunters. Each vessel moved with precision, their strategies adapting to Carter's every move as if they anticipated his tactics. Just as one fighter locked an attack signal on their aft, Morid, stationed at the gunner's turret, released a volley that caused the enemy ship to explode into vibrant flames. The danger was far from over, as the remaining ships closed in, their determination undeterred by the loss of their companion. Within the confines of their vessel, each second of pursuit amplified the uncertainty of their fate. The stakes were higher than survival alone. It was about delivering those pieces of truth that could collapse a malignant empire. Carter's focus was sharpened to a razor's edge, the controls responding intuitively to his every command. In a bold gambit, He led the pursuing ships into the volatile magnetic field of a nearby gas giant. The calculated risk paid off as the anomalous energies disoriented their pursuers' instrumentation long enough for Carter to engage their experimental warp drive. The ship lurched into a burst of speed, leaving their aggressors floundering in the distorted field. The grand hall of the Galactico Cancello echoed with anticipatory murmurs as delegates from across the galaxy gathered in solemn assembly. Ornately designed, the chamber reflected the harmonious blend of myriad cultures. Luminescent crystals hung from the vaulted ceiling, casting prismatic reflections onto the intricately carved walls depicting scenes from eons past. The gravity of the occasion weighed heavily in the air, each member acutely aware of the historical precedent that was about to unfold. Carter and Lara stood at the center of the room, poised to reveal the damning evidence against Helix Corp. Their adversary, the corporation's legal contingent, was a formidable sight, a strategically assembled team of legal minds and experts in galactic law, each displaying an air of calculated confidence. The head of Helix's team, a stern and intimidating woman named Inara Morse, was known for her ruthless efficiency and unparalleled knowledge of corporate legislation. Her sharp, calibrated presence only added to the mounting pressure. As Carter began to speak, a palpable tension rippled through the air. He presented the evidence they had painstakingly gathered, the encrypted files, logs, and video recordings that painted a vivid picture of Helix's brazen malfeasance. Lara, still bearing the scars from her near-fatal crash, stood resolute beside him, her eyes unwavering as she recounted her mission and the sabotage that nearly claimed her life. Among the council members was Chancellor Rethan, an imposing figure with a reputation for impartial judgment. His deep-set eyes scrutinized every piece of evidence with intense concentration, his mind racing to weigh the gravity of the charges against Helix Corp. His voice, rich and resonant, cut through the murmurs as he called for order and demanded a thorough examination of the data presented. Helix Corp's defense team sprang into action, presenting counter-arguments with deft precision. Morse dissected each piece of evidence, attempting to cast doubt and introduce reasonable suspicion. She questioned the credibility of the sources, the integrity of the data, and even cast aspersions on the motives of Carter and Lara. As the heated exchange unfolded, an unexpected revelation came to light. Among the encrypted files was a series of classified communications implicating high-ranking officials within Helix Corp in a conspiracy to undermine the authority of the Cancello Galactico. The conspirators had orchestrated sabotage, espionage, and even assassinations to protect their interests. The revelation was a turning point, shifting the momentum decisively in favor of Carter and Lara's case. The room fell silent as the council members absorbed the magnitude of the treachery laid bare before them. Chancellor Rethan's eyes blazed with righteous anger as he addressed Inara Morse directly. His words, resolute and unyielding, condemned the actions of Helix Corp and called for immediate sanctions. The council, swayed by the overwhelming evidence and the eloquence with which Carter and Lara had presented their case, unanimously voted in favor of the sanctions. The scene that followed was one of chaos and jubilation. Delegates erupted in a cacophony of emotions, outrage from those aligned with Helix, relief from those oppressed by their tyranny, and an indelible sense of justice from the neutral factions. Helix Corp's legal team stood in stunned silence, their facade of invincibility shattered by the verdict. As the council members moved to carry out the sanctions, arrests were made, and the assets of Helix Corp were seized. Inara Morse, her composure finally cracking, was led away by security personnel, her defiant glare promising retribution. The corporate giant, once a symbol of unchecked power and greed, crumbled under the weight of its crimes. In the aftermath, a sense of renewal washed over the galactic community. Carter and Lara, having exposed the truth and brought a monumental corporation to its knees, were hailed as heroes. Yet, amidst the celebration, they remained acutely aware of the broader implications of their actions. The ethical dimensions of this conflict came to the forefront, challenging the very principles that governed intergalactic relations. The dilemmas were multifaceted. How do you balance the quest for justice with the potential fallout that can destabilize entire regions? How can the Conselho Galactico ensure that the eradication of corruption within its ranks does not lead to a power vacuum exploited by other entities? These questions interrogated the essence of moral responsibility. The council members, previously complacent, now faced the reality of their governance's fragility. The victory against Helix was monumental, yet it opened Pandora's box of ethical and political quandaries. Chancellor Rethan, ever the stoic leader, declared the commencement of a series of reforms aimed at transparency and accountability, hoping to prevent such a debacle from reoccurring. Meanwhile, Lara's return to her people was a moment of poignant celebration. The scars she bore were a testament to her courage and sacrifice. Her species, known for their deep spiritual connection to their homeworld and their unyielding quest for justice, welcomed her back not only as a hero but as a beacon of hope against oppression. Carter stood by his ship, watching the heartfelt reunion. A seasoned explorer, he had seen the galaxy's wonders and horrors, but this victory felt profoundly different. It was not just about uncovering hidden truths but about standing firmly against the tide of corruption, no matter the personal cost. Briefly, their eyes met. Carter and Lara shared a silent acknowledgement of the bond forged in the crucible of peril. The road ahead was uncertain, shrouded in the mists of uncharted destinies. Yet, the triumph over Helix Corp was a clarion call, echoing the timeless pursuit of justice and relentless courage. They would embark on new adventures, boldly confronting whatever lay beyond the stars. The narrative immerses us in a realm where the struggle against immorality demands unflinching resolve. It underscores an unassailable truth. The pursuit of justice, illuminated by courage and compassion, transcends all boundaries, setting a precedent that ripples through the cosmos. The journey continues, and the stars await their return. The aftermath of the Conselho Galactico's ruling against Helix Corp left an indelible mark across the universe. Carter and Lara stood as enduring symbols of courage, their names whispered among the stars as paragons of justice and resolve. The victory was momentous, but it was only the beginning of a transformation that would ripple through the galaxy. In the following weeks, the galaxy was abuzz with repercussions from the trial. Helix Corp's once monolithic empire was dissected by regulators and activists, each fragment scrutinized under a magnifying glass. Li Qing, a renowned journalist from the planet Curson 5, conducted exposés revealing the insidious operations Helix had concealed for decades. The revelations, amplified across interstellar communication networks, mobilized a galaxy-wide outcry for transparency and reform in governance. Carter and Lara were lauded as heroes, invited to speak at numerous intergalactic forums and councils. Their accounts inspired a new generation of explorers, advocates, and whistleblowers. Amid the accolades, both felt an underlying restlessness. The universe beckoned, and their roles were far from complete. One evening, beneath the luminous expanse of Xylar's twin moons, Lara received a visit from the elders of her home planet. They praised her valor and offered her a revered position among the Star Guardians, protectors of Xylar's most sacred relics and harbingers of peace. Lara wrestled with the decision, torn between her commitment to her people and her yearning to explore the untamed frontiers with Carter. Simultaneously, Carter was approached by the New Frontier Alliance, an organization dedicated to pioneering ethical exploration and cooperation across space. The Alliance, impressed by his unyielding integrity, sought his expertise to lead expeditions into uncharted territories, regions fraught with unknown dangers and unparalleled potential for discovery. The duo convened atop a secluded cliff on Xylar, overlooking the serene Amber Lakes, a perfect spot for contemplation. The air was thick with the fragrance of blooming Janthea flowers and the melodic hum of nocturnal creatures. As they deliberated their futures, a profound silence settled between them, each lost in the gravity of their choices. Carter, with a contemplative gaze at the horizon, broke the silence. He expressed his belief that their meeting was no mere coincidence but a pivotal moment orchestrated by the vast cosmos. Lara, her eyes reflecting the myriad stars above, shared her inner turmoil and the weight of newfound responsibilities. They were two souls bound by destiny, yet each drawn towards paths that might diverge. In that moment of vulnerability, they reached an understanding. Their journey together had kindled something extraordinary, a bond forged in the crucible of adversity and triumph. Regardless of the paths they chose, their spirits were intertwined by a shared mission of uncovering truths and championing justice. As dawn broke, casting a golden hue over the landscape, they made a pact. Lara would accept the mantle of a star guardian, her wisdom and courage guiding Xylar to a future unmarred by corruption. Carter, in turn, would spearhead the New Frontier Alliance's noble endeavors, his expeditions serving as a beacon of ethical exploration and unity across the galaxies. Their farewells were poignant yet resolute. With heartfelt exchanges and promises held sacred, they parted ways, each embarking on their respective destinies. The universe, a vast canvas of unknowns, welcomed their indomitable wills. Lara's tenure as a star guardian brought profound change to Xylar. She instilled progressive reforms, integrating technology with conservation efforts, ensuring the preservation of their heritage while embracing the advancements of an interconnected galaxy. Her keen insights into Helix Corp's malpractices galvanized actions across other worlds, rooting out systemic corruption and fostering a culture of vigilance and integrity. Carter's explorations, chronicled meticulously, navigated nebulous territories and forged alliances with previously isolated civilizations. He mediated interplanetary conflicts, brokered peace treaties, and opened channels of cooperation that transcended traditional boundaries. The cosmic maps he charted not only expanded human knowledge but also knit a tapestry of shared understanding and mutual respect. Their journeys, though conducted on separate trajectories, continually intersected through the legacy they left behind. Monuments were erected, stories were told, and holovids captured their exploits, inspiring an interstellar society to strive towards a brighter, more just future. In time, whispers of their adventures became the stuff of legends. Scholars and students alike dissected their tactics and strategies. Leaders invoked their principles of truth and justice during pivotal debates. Their influence permeated across star systems, a testament to the enduring power of courage, compassion, and unwavering resolve. Near the chapter's twilight, a mysterious signal emanated from an unexplored quadrant, its encryption baffling even the most advanced decoders. The signal, a harmonious blend of Lara's Star Guardian codes and Carter's exploration algorithms, hinted at an ancient secret poised to redefine the galaxy's understanding of itself. The universe still brimmed with enigmas and perils, each corner a repository of the unknown, awaiting the touch of brave souls willing to uncover its secrets. As Carter and Lara ventured into their storied paths, they remained forever vigilant, ready to reunite whenever destiny called. Thus, the epic saga of Carter and Lara stood as a beacon across the cosmos, an unwavering reminder that the pursuit of justice, truth, and discovery transcends all boundaries. Their legacy, etched among the stars, continually inspired those who dared to dream and act in the unending quest for a just and enlightened universe. In the grand tapestry of the cosmos, their tale remains a vibrant thread, a saga of epic proportions and timeless resonance, echoing through the limitless expanse of space. The saga of Carter and Lara serves as an everlasting beacon, encapsulating the eternal fight against injustice and the boundless quest for knowledge. Their indomitable spirits continue to inspire, proving that courage and compassion are indeed the greatest alliances humanity and its intergalactic neighbors can forge. If you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.